Welcome back to McCrazyville, boys and girls. Our next lesson is going to be a directed drawing and painted Mr. Flamingo or Mrs. Flamingo. You can see I have two friends beside me as my helpers. And who would not like a hot pink bird with long legs? So let's get started. All right, boys and girls, before we get started, I want to show you all some tempera paint cakes that I ordered on Amazon a while back. These are made by Jack Richson, Richeson, and they work just like the tempera cakes we have at school. And Mom and Dad, you use these just like watercolor paint, where you add the water to it and then they'll dry out when you're finished using them. I did do this one with the tempera paint, and it's a lot different than the old school tempera paint that we grew up with. I just remember having a beautiful painting and then it folds and all the paint like crumbles and falls off. This tempera paint is supposedly washable. We'll see, but it's another great source, and I think this was maybe $12, and these things, these pucks will last a long time if you take care of them and the kids don't drown them in in water. And you can get refills for these. They're very inexpensive. So that's a great idea for you guys. So on with our flamingo. You know that flamingos have a long curvy neck, and I'm going to point out in my sketch that I did earlier, it's the shape of a letter S, okay? And their neck is just about the same width. That means it doesn't go from a skinny neck to like a big fat neck. Okay, so it stays about the same size. So it's kind of like we're going to be drawing a road right here. Okay, our road is curving and it's the same width across. Okay, then we have a little, I don't know what you call it, little intersection, little line right here. Its beak, I want you to think about a fruit that's yellow that a monkey might love, a banana. So look at that banana shape right there. If we were to keep going with it, okay, but we're going to stop and we're going to put an open V right there. The next part might be a little tricky, but we're going to start at the tip of the V, okay, and we're going to kind of curve down. So it's kind of like that S again, that S curve. So it almost makes that flamingo look like he or she is smiling. I did a little eye that was a U, and I put little eyelashes on it because sometimes I think flamingos are kind of fancy dancy. Now, I made my flamingo's head and his neck coming from the side of my paper, okay? So I zoomed in on the flamingo. If we had made the flamingo smaller, his body may have been here, and her head would have been here, and then the legs. So you wouldn't have had this big flamingo face and head and neck as your focal point. The next part of our painting and our drawing is going to be these tropical leaves. Now these leaves are going around the outside, so your eye is drawn to the center, okay? If I were to show you this, if I were to flip this paper over and I was going to flip it back and you had never seen it before, and I would say, boom, what's the first thing you notice? You're drawn right here, because all of this leaves and the foliage is going around your center focal point. So with that being said, we're going to try this on a smaller sheet of paper, okay? And I'm going to do it in black crayon. You could use a pencil to start off with if you'd like, but I'm going to draw it in black just so you can see it on this paper. So I'm going to start at the top of his head, okay? And I'm going to make my S very long and skinny, okay? Like it's open. Then I'm going to come down a little ways, and I'm going to continue my road. Remember how we said our road stays the same width apart? And I'm gonna make a little slide line going up and one here. Might put some feathers or something right there. Now, I'm gonna come to my second line, come over a little bit. Then I'm gonna bring my top line down, just like a nice little hill. Now, remember that fruit I talked about, the banana? So let's pretend we start here, and then we start drawing down, and then we want to come up, right? There you go. And we're going to make that little V, and then we're going to go to the V. We're just going to make a curvy line down. It's kind of like that S again. And this one will have a U and some eyelashes. So there is your flamingo. Now, these funky leaves right here look like palm leaves. This was kind of neat. So I did a hill. Then I pretended I had a line right here, okay? I came over, up, across, down. So I did a road, a tall building, and back down. A road, a tall building, back down. And that made that cool palm leaf. I'd never done that before. So we're gonna make that fake line right there. A road, a tall building, and a road, tall building, and a road. Road, tall building, and a road. Okay, so that's one leaf you could do. The other one, I'm sure you can do this, is pointies. Just some pointy fronds or some leaves. Okay? And you could always take your crayon and just make some spiky ones. Now you could also do that with a green crayon. I'll put some more down here. Okay, so now we're ready to paint. And you guys know how to paint. You could use watercolors, or if you have the Tempera paints, remember they work just like the watercolors. You have to add water to activate them. And I have my water bottle out here, and I'm gonna start, oops, you know what I forgot? I forgot to make this line here because the tip of the beak is black. And I'm not gonna paint the whole thing for you guys because you all know how to paint. So I'm gonna start by activating some of that yellow and move it all around, okay? Now the Tempera paints are a little bit thicker. They've got more body than your watercolors. So they will go over that black line that you've made with your crayon. You know how we would say the watercolor paint kind of stayed in that little fancy line that we made, kind of stopped as a resist. These will go out. So you will paint, paint, paint however you'd like, okay? You can come in here, do some green. Okay, you can always go back with some blue and darken it and give it a little variety. Doesn't have to be all the way green. Okay, but you get the idea. So you could do this with marker. Remember, you could use the markers and color it and take the paintbrush and water and make your own watercolors. You could do it with just a Sharpie. If you got really fancy, you could draw this on hot pink paper and cut it out and make a collage out of it. So I hope you guys try this, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye, guys.